Get Lillian Howard off the stage right now. The producer's shout cracks through the studio headset, loud enough to make the boom operator flinch. Lillian keeps smiling anyway, because smiling is what a nobody does when the cameras are on and the room hates her. She stands under white hot lights, hands folded, audition slate trembling just a little. The director does not look at her. The casting assistant does not look at her. The makeup artist who fixed her flyaway hair 10 minutes ago now pretends Lillian does not exist. Supporting role. That is what they give you when you have no heat, no fans, no backing. Lillian nods, steps forward and begins. Her voice is steady, her eyes focused. She hits the beat where the character swallows the insult and turns it into a smile. She lands the joke. A few crew members almost laugh, then remember they are not allowed to. A phone buzzes somewhere. Then another. Then a string of vibrations, like a swarm. The host's smile drops. He glances down at his screen, then up at Lillian, then back down again. Hold on. A producer storms onto the stage and hisses. Stop reading, we are trending for the wrong reasons. Lillian lowers the pages. I can finish in 30 seconds. You are not finishing anything. The producer snaps. Look at the feed, look at it. The giant screen behind them flips to the public comment wall. A hashtag slams across the top. Hashtag Lillian Howard out. The studio audience is small, invited and bored, but they perk up like they smell blood. A woman in the front row cups her hands. Go home, no one wants you. A man laughs. She is here because she paid, right? Lillian stares at them and feels the old familiar burn in her chest. The part of her that wants to say, my father could buy this building, wants to leap out. She swallows it. Because that is the whole point. She wants to know what she can do without the Howard name. She wants to feel the ground under her own feet. She wants to be ordinary even if ordinary is brutal. The camera cuts to a commercial. The lights dim. The stage manager grabs Lillian by the elbow like she is a hazard. Backstage smells like hairspray and panic. A junior assistant in a cheap blazer blocks her path, chin lifted like she owns the hallway. You should apologize. The assistant says. Lillian blinks. To who? To the viewers. The assistant says, smug. You are embarrassing the show. Everyone knows you are a push. They hate it. You are ruining the vibe. Lillian almost laughs. The assistant is maybe 21, with a clipboard and a power trip. In any other universe, Lillian would buy her lunch and tell her to drink water. Instead, Lillian says, move. The assistant does not move. You are not even that pretty on camera. You are just lucky. Stop forcing it. Lillian's fingers curl around the script pages. She is 1 second away from saying something that would explode her whole experiment. Then her phone rings. The name on the screen makes her stomach dip. Dad. She does not pick up. She cannot. Not here. Not with these eyes on her. Not with the assistant still smirking. The phone stops. A new message arrives. Call me. Now. Lillian turns away. She pushes through a side door into the parking lot, the night air cool against her face. She leans against a van and finally answers. His voice is calm, but the calm is worse than anger. Lillian. Dad. She says softly. I am watching. Everett Howard says. Of course he is. The richest man on earth does not miss a single moment of his only daughter being humiliated on a public feed. Lillian closes her eyes. I am fine. You are not fine. He says. Tell me the name of the person who told you to get off the stage. It does not matter. Lillian says too fast. It matters. Everett says. Because my daughter is not a punching bag. Lillian exhales. Dad, please. I chose this. I allowed it. Everett says. The emphasis is gentle, but it is a reminder of what he can do. I allowed you to go play ordinary. I did not allow anyone to treat you like trash. Lillian opens her eyes and watches the studio door, half expecting more people to spill out with their phones. I am learning. That is the point. There is a pause. Then Everett says. Then learn this too. If you do not want the name, fine, but you will not be alone. I am not alone. Lillian lies. Tomorrow. Everett says, voice turning business sharp. I have the summit, the Global Wealth Index release. It is live. Front row. Bring your stubbornness and sit beside me. Lillian's heart trips. Dad, no. That is the whole thing. If I show up, it is over. The experiment ends. It already ended the moment they turned you into a joke. Everett says. 1 hour. 1 seat. After that, you can crawl back into your little shadow if you want, but tonight, you come home. Lillian's throat tightens. I have call time at 6. Everett laughs once, no warmth. They do not own you. I do. Lillian should argue. She should say she is not property. But she knows what he means. He means he will protect her even if she fights him. She whispers. Okay. Good. Everett says. Then, softer. You are my girl. Nobody gets to spit on you and sleep peacefully. The line goes dead. Lillian stares at her phone until the screen goes dark, reflecting her own face back at her. She looks tired. She looks ordinary. She looks like someone the internet can crush for sport. She wipes her eyes, straightens her shoulders, and walks toward her car. She sits in the driver's seat, hands on the wheel, and laughs once, sharp. Tomorrow she will sit in the front row of the summit beside the man the world calls untouchable. Tomorrow the world will learn who she is. And tomorrow a lot of people will wish they had kept their mouths shut. The Global Wealth Index summit looks like a movie set built to intimidate the planet. Glass, steel, velvet seats, and a stage washed in blue light. Security stands at every aisle, quiet and perfect. Cameras glide on tracks like predators. Lillian arrives with no makeup team, no entourage, and a plain black coat that makes her look like she belongs to a different life. A staff member meets her at the side entrance and does not ask her name. He just bows. Miss Howard, this way. Lillian's stomach flips. She hates how familiar this feels. Not the luxury, but the obedience. The world bends when her father breathes. They lead her to the front row. Everett Howard is already seated. He is not smiling. He wears a simple suit that probably costs more than the entire studio set she was humiliated on last night. When he sees her, his expression shifts, and the cold in the room seems to lift. There she is. He says and opens his arm. Lillian sits beside him and lets him put a hand on her shoulder, casual, possessive, protective. Cameras sweep past. For a moment, she thinks they do not notice her. Then she hears the first whisper. Wait, is that her? Another voice, sharper. No way, that cannot be her. A camera operator pauses, adjusts his lens, and holds the shot half a second too long. On the live stream, the chat begins to hiccup. Front row, who is that girl beside Everett Howard? Is that his assistant? Zoom in. The host on stage speaks in a polished voice. Welcome to the annual Global Wealth Index Summit. Today we recognize the leaders who shape the world economy. Applause. Flashbulbs. A wall of screens lights up with graphs and names. Lillian's phone vibrates non-stop in her pocket. She refuses to look. She keeps her face calm, like she is bored at a lecture. Everett leans toward her. Breathe. I am breathing. She lies. Everett stands. The entire hall rises with him. The applause is thunder. Lillian claps too, small, because she has done this 1,000 times in private. The difference is the world watching. Everett nods, takes his seat, and the host continues. This year we also honor the next generation of leadership. The Howard family has confirmed a single heir. Lillian's spine goes rigid. Everett squeezes her shoulder once, steadying her. The host turns his gaze to the front row, and his voice turns respectful in a way it never did on that studio stage. Please welcome the sole heir of the Howard family, Ms. Lillian Howard. The camera swings. The lens catches Lillian full face. For 3 seconds, the live stream chat stops moving. It is not a metaphor. It freezes. The messages lock on screen like the internet itself has forgotten how to breathe. Then it hits. No way. That is her. That is the girl from the audition clip. We called her the worst push. She is his daughter. The chat turns into a flood of screaming letters and question marks. The platform struggles. The viewer count spikes so fast the counter glitches. In the hall, people twist in their seats to look at her. Phones rise like a field of glass blades. A billionaire in the second row stares as if his mind is rebooting. Lillian stands slowly, like she is getting up from a dinner table, not stepping into a global reveal. Everett keeps his hand on her shoulder until she is fully upright. She bows, small and polite. The host beams. Miss Howard, it is an honor. The world has been eager to meet you. Lillian's lips curve. Thank you. Her voice goes through the mic feed, calm, clear, impossible to clip into a meltdown. Everett speaks next, smooth, dangerous. My daughter has asked for privacy. I ask the same from all of you. The hall applauds again, but the sound is different now. It is fear disguised as respect. Lillian sits. Her phone continues to vibrate like it is trying to escape her pocket. Everett tilts his head. Now you can look. Lillian pulls out her phone and sees the trending list. Hashtag Lillian Howard. Hashtag heiress reveal. Hashtag Werserum Showard. She opens the comments under the audition clip. The same people who called her trash are now rewriting history in real time. I always knew she was classy. She was just being humble. Protect Lillian at all costs. The assistant from last night is already tagged in 100 replies. People demand her name. People demand the producer's name. People demand blood. Lillian's stomach turns. She whispers. This is insane. Everett watches her, eyes soft. This is reality. Money is reality. Power is reality. I wanted to be normal. Lillian says. Everett's mouth lifts slightly. Normal is overrated. When the summit ends, the front row becomes a storm. CEOs and investors and people who own islands suddenly remember they have time for greetings. Everett smiles politely. You will speak to my office. Lillian watches their faces change as they realize she is not just a pretty daughter. She is leverage. She is a knife the richest man alive can use without even lifting his hand. On the way out, security clears a path. Lillian takes it and says, Dad, I do not want to destroy people. Everett looks out the window, expression unreadable. Then do not. But do not confuse mercy with weakness. Lillian twists the cap. I just wanted to act. I wanted to earn it. Everett turns to her. Then you will, just without being kicked in the teeth first. Lillian laughs under her breath, half bitter. So what now? Everett's voice turns crisp. Now we clean up the mess that company made. Lillian blinks. Are you going to call them? Everett's phone is already in his hand. I am going to buy them. Lillian stares, shocked. Dad. Everett dials. Hello, yes. It is Everett Howard. Put your owner on the line. Lillian watches him speak in calm sentences that sound like polite conversation and feel like a guillotine. Outside, the internet continues to burn. Inside, Lillian realizes her experiment did not end. It transformed. Now she will learn what happens when the world discovers you are not prey. The next morning, Lillian walks into her agency office like nothing has happened. The receptionist makes a sound that could be a laugh or a sob. Right, yes. Of course. Every head turns. People who never greeted Lillian before now stand too quickly, chairs scraping, faces stretching into smiles. Morning, Lillian. Someone chirps. Someone else says. Miss Howard. And immediately corrects to. Lillian. Like the wrong word might bankrupt them. Lillian walks past them. She keeps her posture relaxed, but inside, she feels like she is walking through a room full of landmines. Her manager, Carla, bursts out of her office, heels clicking like gunshots. Carla has ignored Lillian for months, always too busy, always forgetting her name. Now Carla's eyes shine like she has discovered religion. Lillian, sweetheart. Carla says, grabbing her hands. I did not want to bother you yesterday. We were all just shocked. We did not realize. You understand, right? Lillian gently pulls her hands back. What is the schedule today? Carla blinks like she cannot process the concept of Lillian wanting something small. Of course, your desk, yes. Lillian reaches her desk, the same cheap particle board table in the corner, the same cracked mug she uses for pencils. She sits down and opens her email. There are 300 unread messages. Half are offers. Half are apologies. A few are threats from people who sound terrified. Her phone buzzes. A new message from her father. Arriving. Lillian frowns. Arriving where? A low thump vibrates through the building. Then another. The glass in the window rattles. People look up, confused. The sound grows louder, deeper, like a giant drum beating over the roof. Carla's face drains. What is that? Lillian stands and walks to the window. A helicopter is descending onto the roof. Not a news helicopter. Not a rented film helicopter. A black, sleek corporate helicopter with the Howard Global logo, subtle, terrifying. The lobby erupts. Is that for her? Are we about to die? Is that allowed? The elevator dings. The doors open. A line of men and women in dark suits step out like they are marching into a hostile takeover, because they are. At the front is a man with silver hair and a badge that reads CEO, like he is introducing himself to the building. He walks straight to Lillian and bows. Miss Howard. He says, voice steady. I am Jonathan Pierce, Chief Executive Officer of Howard Global Entertainment. We have completed the acquisition. The hallway goes silent. Carla makes a squeak. The receptionist sits down too fast. Lillian blinks. Acquisition of what? Jonathan gestures around like he is presenting a gift. This company, 100% ownership, effective immediately. The old owner, Martin Vale, storms out of his office, face red, tie loose, fury barely contained. Martin has treated Lillian like a mistake since the day she signed. What is this? Martin barks. Who let you in? Jonathan holds out a folder. Mr. Vale, you sold the company this morning. I did not. Martin snaps. Then he sees the signature on the top page. His own signature. He stares like the ink has betrayed him. Jonathan continues, calm. You accepted the offer at 8:37. Funds have cleared. Your account has been credited. You are no longer employed here. Martin's eyes flick to Lillian. In them, she sees the moment his brain connects every insult he has thrown at her to the new reality. He swallows. His knees bend. He drops to the floor. I did not know. Martin says, voice breaking. Miss Howard, I did not know. I thought you were just, an ordinary girl. Lillian looks down at him. She thinks of the times he cut her auditions. The times he sent her to background work. The times he let other actors shove her aside. She thinks of the assistant last night, smirking, telling her she is not even pretty on camera. She feels nothing hot. No revenge thrill. Just a quiet tiredness. I was ordinary. Lillian says. I was trying to be. Martin crawls forward like a man losing oxygen. Please, I can fix it. I can make it right. I will give you resources. I will give you anything. Jonathan steps in smoothly. Mr. Vale, please stand. This is a workplace. Martin does not stand. He clings to the floor. Carla trembles beside him, eyes wet. Lillian, sweetie, I always supported you. I always believed in you. Lillian looks at Carla. She remembers Carla forgetting her auditions. She remembers Carla sending her to fetch coffee for other clients. She remembers Carla calling her a dead weight when she thought Lillian could not hear. Lillian nods slowly. Sure. Carla brightens, thinking she has been forgiven. Jonathan clears his throat. Miss Howard, if I may, your father has requested that you assume interim leadership of this entity. You may rename it, restructure it, or dissolve it, whatever you desire. Every person in the hallway holds their breath. Lillian stares at the folder Jonathan holds. Her name is printed on a line above a title she has never held. Owner. She laughs once, very soft. I do not know how to run a company. Lillian says. Jonathan smiles. Then we will teach you. Also, you have an excellent board now. They are waiting upstairs. Lillian rubs her forehead. Dad is insane. Jonathan's smile turns warmer. He is a father. Martin whimpers. Miss Howard, please, do not fire me. I can be loyal. I can be useful. Lillian looks at him and says. Stand up. Martin scrambles to his feet, hands shaking. Lillian takes a breath. You are not being fired today. You are being reassigned. Martin's eyes flare with hope. Yes, anything. Lillian points to the supply closet door. You will clean out the storage room, every box, every dust pile. You will label everything. If one file goes missing, you are gone. Martin freezes, humiliated, but he forces a smile. Of course. Starting today. Lillian says. This company will treat its clients like humans. No bullying, no sabotage, no gatekeeping. If anyone wants to act, they get coached, not crushed. A few younger assistants blink, startled, like they have never heard power used that way. Jonathan nods, satisfied. Lillian continues. Carla, you are no longer my manager. Carla's face collapses. What? Lillian, sweetie, we are friends. We are not. Lillian says, calm. You can transfer to administration, or you can leave. Your choice. Carla opens her mouth, tries to speak, and realizes she has no leverage. She nods quickly, tears forming. Admin, yes. Admin is fine. Lillian turns back to her desk, sits down, and opens her laptop again. The building is still the same. The carpets are still old. The elevator still smells like noodles. But the air has changed. People move carefully around her now. Like she is a bomb. Like she is a throne. Like she is a mistake they cannot afford to repeat. Her phone buzzes again. A new message from her father. Proud of you. Lillian stares at it, then types back. I wanted to be normal. A reply comes instantly. You can be normal. Just not poor. Lillian laughs, real this time, and shakes her head. Outside, the internet has moved from mocking her to worshipping her. Inside, she realizes her new job is not acting. It is deciding what kind of power she wants to be. By noon, the entertainment world is acting like Lillian has always been the center of the universe. Her inbox is a war zone of invitations. A top director wants a meeting. A streaming platform wants a contract. A luxury brand wants her face on a billboard the size of a building. Carla brings her a stack of printed offers like she is delivering tribute. These are urgent. Carla says, voice small. They all want you, like, now. Lillian flips through the pages. The numbers are ridiculous. The terms are protective, flattering, desperate. She looks up. Yesterday I could not get a call back. Carla nods too fast. Yesterday was a misunderstanding. Lillian smiles without humor. Yesterday was the truth. Carla swallows. So, what do you want to do? Lillian leans back in her chair and stares at the ceiling tiles, stained from a leak nobody fixed because nobody cared. I want lunch, she says. Carla blinks. Lunch. Yes. Lillian says. A sandwich, something normal. Carla laughs, nervous. Of course, anything. An hour later, Lillian is eating a turkey sandwich at her desk when the office door bursts open. A man in a designer jacket rushes in, hairstyled, sunglasses still on. He looks around like he is searching for the nearest camera. Lillian. He calls, voice loud. There you are. Lillian looks up. Who are you? He freezes, offended. I am Chase Wilder, actor, you know. We met at the festival last year. You were, hanging around. Hanging around. That is what people called her when she stood on the edge of parties, hoping someone would talk to her like she mattered. Chase steps closer, smile switching on. Listen, I just wanted to say, I always respected your humility. It is so rare in this town. People misunderstood you. I never did. Lillian chews slowly. You called me a resource leech in an interview. Chase's smile cracks. That was taken out of context. Lillian swallows. You also told your followers to boycott my audition clip. Chase's sunglasses slip down his nose. He pushes them back up, laughed too loud. Marketing. You know how it is. We all play the game. Lillian wipes her hands on a napkin. Why are you here? Chase leans in, voice dropping like he is sharing a secret. I have a project. A film. Huge. I think you would be perfect. We should do a photo together. Show unity. The fans will love it. Lillian stares at him. Get out. Chase's face turns red. Excuse me. Lillian points at the door. Leave. Chase looks around at the stunned staff, looking for someone to defend him. Nobody moves. They are all watching Lillian now, waiting to see what she does with power. Chase forces a grin. Okay. I respect boundaries. You are, you know, a boss now. He backs away, still smiling, and bumps into the door frame. He leaves. The receptionist exhales like she has been holding her breath for a year. A junior assistant whispers. That was amazing. Lillian shrugs. I am hungry. Do not bring loud people near my food. Jonathan's lips twitch. He knows. He says you are still coming. Lillian sighs. Fine, put the studio meeting first. After the call, Carla leans toward Lillian, whispering. Do you know how rare that is? You could take this and never struggle again. Lillian looks at her. I never struggled for money. I struggled for respect. Carla looks down, ashamed. At dinner, Everett Howard hosts in a private room of a restaurant that does not list prices. The staff move like shadows. Lillian sits across from her father and watches him cut his steak like he is cutting a problem. Everett says. I saw the gift list. Lillian rolls her eyes. Everyone is suddenly my best friend. Everett takes a sip of water. They are not your friends. They are your mirror. They reflect whatever is safest. Lillian pokes her salad. I hate it. Everett leans back, studying her. Then change it. Lillian blinks. Change Hollywood. Everett shrugs, like it is a reasonable to-do list item. Why not? Start with your company, build talent, protect people, make a studio that does not feed on humiliation. Lillian looks at him, surprised. You would fund that. Everett's eyes soften. I would fund anything that keeps you smiling. Lillian laughs. That is exactly the problem. You can fund anything. Everett's phone buzzes. He glances at the screen and his expression turns cold. Lillian notices. What is it? Everett says. The show from last night just issued a statement. They call you a guest performer. They say you were never mistreated. Lillian's mouth goes dry. They are lying. Everett stands. The air in the room changes. He says. Then we correct the record. Lillian stands too, alarmed. Dad, please. I do not want you to start a war. Everett looks at her. Lillian, they started it. They thought you were powerless. They thought they could rewrite reality. He picks up his phone and walks to the window, already dialing. Lillian watches him, heart pounding, and realizes the entertainment industry is about to learn a new rule. You do not bully a Howard. Not when the father is willing to burn down the entire building to keep his daughter warm. Jonathan's tone turns gentle. You can ask him to stop. Lillian ends the call and drives to her father. Everett's office is on the top floor of a building that feels like a fortress. The elevator opens into silence and glass. A woman at the desk stands immediately. Miss Howard. Lillian walks past her and opens the door without knocking. Everett is on a call. He holds up one finger for her to wait, but his eyes soften when he sees her, like the world is not just numbers. He finishes the call with a calm sentence. Do it, end of day. He hangs up and says, dinner, you are early. Lillian walks to his desk and plants her hands on the polished surface. Dad, stop. Everett tilts his head. Stop what? The punishments. Lillian says. The sponsors, the shutdowns, the career destruction, it is too much. Everett looks at her for a long moment. Then he says. Did they apologize? Lillian blinks. What? Everett repeats, calm. Did they apologize to you, in person, not a statement, not a public relations memo? Did they look you in the eye and say they were wrong? Lillian's anger falters. No. Everett nods once, like he has confirmed a math problem. Then it is not too much. Lillian's voice rises. Dad, I do not want to be feared. Everett's expression does not change. Fear is not your goal, respect is. Fear is what happens when people refuse respect. Lillian paces, frustrated. You are acting like this is fun. Everett's mouth tightens. It is not fun, it is necessary. Necessary. Lillian repeats, disbelieving. She exhales. I can handle people being mean. Everett shakes his head. You should not have to. Lillian sits in the chair across from his desk, deflated. I just wanted to act. Everett walks back and sits. He slides a folder toward her. What is this? Lillian asks. Everett taps the folder. A list. Lillian opens it. Names. Networks. Producers. Assistants. Influencers. Every person who mocked her. Every person who amplified it. Lillian's stomach sinks. You tracked all of them. Everett says. I watched the stream. Lillian closes the folder. Dad, this is scary. Everett nods. Good, it should scare you. It should remind you that your name is not a toy. Do not give it away to people who want to use it against you. Lillian lifts her chin. So what now? You bankrupt them all. Everett's mouth curves slightly. No, I teach them. Some will lose deals. Some will lose access. Some will learn to shut up. Lillian mutters. You sound like a villain. Everett laughs once. Every father is a villain in someone else's story. Lillian cannot help it. She laughs too, the tension cracking. Everett watches her and softens. I will slow down, for you, but I will not let them pretend they did nothing. Lillian nods slowly. Okay, but I want to do something too. Everett raises an eyebrow. What? Lillian sits up. I want to make a statement, not threatening, not petty, something that sets a tone. Everett nods, approval in his eyes. Write it. The internet responds like it has been waiting for permission to feel human. Some people apologize sincerely. Some people double down and get dragged. Some people quietly delete and vanish. Everett reads her statement and texts her one line. That is my girl. Lillian stares at it, smiling, and realizes she is not trapped between being ordinary and being powerful. She can be both. She can be a girl who wants to act. And she can be the daughter of a man who makes cruelty expensive. Randall from Titan smiles too much. Miss Howard, thank you for doing this. Lillian holds the script. Call me Lillian. Randall nods quickly. Of course, Lillian. The director clears his throat. Whenever you are ready. Lillian takes a breath and starts. She is not thinking about the internet. She is not thinking about money. She is thinking about the character, about pain turned into humor, about a girl who wants to be seen for her work, not her name. When she finishes, the room is silent. The director blinks, slow. Okay. Randall leans forward. That was, very good. Lillian smiles. So, do I get the role? The director laughs, relieved. Yes, you get the role. Lillian nods. Great, now treat everyone on this set well. If I hear one story about bullying, I walk. Randall's smile turns sincere for the first time. Understood. Everett sits 2 seats away, refusing to sit on stage like the other billionaires. He watches her like he is watching the sun rise. A presenter opens an envelope. And the award for Best Actress goes to. The room holds its breath. Lillian Howard. Applause explodes. Cameras flash. People stand. Some clap like they are cheering. Some clap like they are begging forgiveness. Lillian walks to the stage, steps steady. She takes the trophy and looks out at the sea of faces. She sees Carla, now an admin, clapping cautiously. She sees Martin Vale, now a nobody, clapping like his hands might save him. She sees the assistant from the audition show, standing at the back as security, because she got fired and had to take any job she could. Lillian does not smile at them. She does not glare either. She speaks into the mic. "Thank you." Lillian says. "I used to think I had to prove I deserved to be here. I still want to prove it, but I also learned something." She pauses, letting the room lean in. She steps off stage to roaring applause. Back at her table, Everett leans in and murmurs, "You did it." Lillian exhales, shaking, half laughing. "I tried to be a small-time actress. I accidentally became the biggest connection in the business." Everett's eyes sparkle. "Tragic." Lillian laughs. "Dad, promise me one thing." Everett raises an eyebrow. "Anything. Let me rest sometimes." Lillian says. "Let me be lazy. Let me be a normal girl." Everett nods, solemn like he is signing a treaty. "Fine, you can be lazy." Lillian smiles. "Thank you." Everett adds, deadly calm. "But if anyone calls you the worst Meepo push again, I will buy their entire life and rename it as an apology." Lillian bursts out laughing, loud enough to make nearby people turn. The internet will keep spinning. The industry will keep shifting. The world will keep pretending it is fair. Lillian holds her trophy and thinks, maybe the best revenge is not destruction. Maybe it is building something better. And maybe, just maybe, being the heiress does not mean she has to stop being herself. It just means nobody gets to step on her for sport ever again.
Thanks for watching. Follow for more romance stories.